There is a thick blanket of snow that covers the ground and tops the trees on the way between the stone tower, Silent Hall's tower, and Lenge's Pass. You still have at least another full day of travel, but having walked yourselves weary, it's been time to rest and camp. There is a fire that is burning to keep warm. And maybe you guys have so you have the Wandering Wanderlust, like kind of set up into maybe like the base of a tree, so that there's like a little door there that you can walk into. How do you guys want to set up the array at KCC?
I just imagined we've got a long walk ahead of us, and at some point in the walk, before the Dwarven village.
Okay, you guys set it up.
My screen's going nuts. There.
Yeah, as they're setting up camp, Casey comes in and throws down a pile of sticks and turns, and as he does, the great sword strapped to his back smacks into Araya's side. Sorry.
I'm not very good with mine either. My ropes, they keep getting tangled up and around it.
No, it doesn't make any sense why someone would carry one of these.
And they make it look so easy. Do you think that maybe we could, I don't know, practice? I don't know.
Are you challenging me?
Do a duel?
To a sword fight?
In the snow? I think I wouldn't challenge any of them. I would lose immediately.
Well, I have been practicing a little bit.
Wait. I thought that you just were knocking stuff over. No, I rescind my challenge. I'm gonna take the glove back and wait. No, She it's the scabbard's still on it. It's great.
No, I mean, there's no reason not to know how to use it, right?
Well, just enough so that it's not in the way, though, right? Or is this how we die?
Well, I'm not going to kill you if that's what you're asking.
No, but you won't mean to. But then, with my luck, combined with your good luck, it's how I die.
I mean, Doc's not far. I'm sure
You'll be fine.
No, but so so I know that they put their feet in a certain way, and then sometimes I've seen pictures of them holding one hand up like this in the back. Is that right? Is there a sword hand?
I mean, I feel better holding this one with two hands. I think, since it's a great sword.
This is a smart sword. Wait, actually, she wouldn't know that. She hasn't attuned to it, but...
Casey has attuned to the great sword, but...
Really?
Yeah. Just to see what it does.
Oh, this one's a long sword, but it, actually, she's not terrible at this, though. Well... Do you have to attune to it to get the +3, or is it just by default?
Yeah, to get the bonus from a magical item, you do have to attune to it.
I don't know what the greatsword does, though, Chris. It's the one that Sal just gave to him in the letter.
If you search the Discord for Dead Forge Greatsword, it'll come up.
Gotcha.
So if you kill her, then it will raise her body
Raise her
as a zombie.
Oh, is that all?
If I don't attune to it, can I still use it with smarts instead of strength? Us just
Nah, just a regular longsword if you're not.
Never mind. She's terrible at this. I'll heal you by trying to hit you. Chances. But no, that's great. At least just to get it out of the way, and then, have at thee.
Okay, so
Yeah.
are the two of you wielding the swords, and you're gonna do a practice duel?
Yeah.
Just a small one.
Okay, we'll keep it simple. You're just each gonna roll an attack with the weapon, and to see who wins the duel, and you can kind of like just roll it.
Oh, sorry for the 20. I didn't see it roll. I rolled a 4 minus 1, so a 3.
Yeah, I am not proficient with great swords, but let's do it.
So she reels back in the snow and then lands on her butt in the snow. No, you really have been practicing. You'd think you'd be a little bit more graceful because you usually are quite graceful when it comes to everything else.
It's really heavy. We just need to get Shalati back so she can take this.
It's Shalati's sword?
Well, yeah, I mean, Salinger left it for me to give back to her.
Right.
And I tried to give it back to him so that since he's back, And,
yeah, and he has nothing, so.
But he didn't seem to want it.
Yeah, Ez didn't want his sword either. It's really.
I think they realize how terrible they are, and they're just trying to get rid of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like a cursed object, but you don't believe in curses, but it is kind of semi-cursed.
Well, it's cursed in the sense that it just sucks.
We should use them as walking sticks then?
Yeah, I don't know if Shalati would like that.
Oh, yeah. No, we should keep them in good order. Okay, well then, how about this? I help you strap the great sword on. You're quite tall, so it shouldn't be in the way nearly as much as it is, except if you bend over, and then, yeah, you're right, no.
Yeah, help me out, because I have it at least 2 inches on Shalati, and it's not sitting right.
She's just much more, well, she wears it well. Yeah, no, maybe I could tighten this belt up on the back, and then it goes just a little bit higher. So then you just have to watch out for ducking through trees.
Okay.
So this one's made to be worn on the hip, but between it and my tail, problems. Back? I mean, I might, hit my horns then?
Yeah, I wonder if you do, almost maybe sideways across your shoulders.
Oh, and I could carry a bucket on the side.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a bucket.
No, I mean, you don't? Well, more a water skin than.
Yeah, I mean, can your tail help hold it in place so that it doesn't?
Obvious solution. I didn't see it. Well, behind me, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that would work.
Yes. Tail needs a job. Tail will stay out of trouble if Tail has a job. Yes. Smart.
Can you swing the sword with your tail? Have you
I
tried?
mean, everything's worth trying once.
Okay, give it a go.
So much better than she did. Not great, but better.
Mhm.
Obviously.
In case you have to roll yours.
Am I rolling
Please roll low
rolling
because
to
it's
dodge?
a 13.
You just roll an attack for the. Aha.
Can she do with the tail like a swirly disarm?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excellent. Oh. Oh. Did you see that?
No, that's cool. No, you need to use that next time we get into a fight.
I think, well, it did take all of my attention to be able to even remotely try to do anything with my...
I mean, if you think the
And then
sword
I'd
is
have
too
to be
big,
backwards.
I do have a dagger it could use if...
You know how you made me the horn caps? What if you made for me like a little spiky something for the end of my tail?
Oh, and then you can just stab him with the tail. Nice.
Or like... Very effective.
Yeah, let me talk to Esmond. I'm sure he can...
Oh!
No, he can help work something up. It's going to be great in case he walks over and, like, pulls the great sword out of the ground from where it got thrown.
Struggles to detach from tail. I'll help with the rest of the sticks for the bonfire, though. It's really... Like, it's not cold, like it... But it's cold. It's cold! Why is it so cold?
Yeah, there's, like, a steam, a little bit of, like, heat fog coming off of Casey against the cold air. It's like, yes, it's not too bad out here, but...
Alright, I'm setting up my bedroll closer to you and also the fire. Yeah.
Ishtal.
I think she's probably been out like trying to collect enough snow to melt for water or whatnot, and then she's at some point just stopped and watched what those two were doing, and says to no one in particular, "I don't know whether to laugh or to cry." Good grief.
Definitely cry.
Later, closer to. Oh, unless you guys have more.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's close to sunset, and some of the others are resting. Peach and Esmond, the two of you on watch together.
Esmond is present, but he's not initiating conversation. He's not like well, what's the
I
word?
think Peach is AFK right now,
Oh,
or Kate is AFK at the moment.
You two sit in silence.
Yeah, this is the longest Peach has gone without talking on watch
Esmond.
ever.
Yeah, Esmond is reading his journal.
I'll switch that then. We'll come to that later. Ishtalon and Ava, the two of you are on watch.
Oh, interesting. Wasn't planning on this. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, it's Ava's just kind of playing with a couple of seeds in her hands. After, like, she'll look around and be on watch, and then she'll roll a seed around on her hand a little bit, and then with the wave of her other hand, it starts to sprout just a small amount, and then she'll just sort of take those seeds, and she kind of is like throwing them into the snow in different directions around them.
That is a neat trick. Will they not die? It being winter.
No, these are supposed to survive in colder elements. They're just gonna, and not all of them will make it probably, but some of them will.
That is how plants do.
Yep. And I think that during the time that they've been there together, Ava's not always very chatty, but in this time, she's probably a little bit quieter and doesn't seem quite as forthcoming during the time they've sat there with Shalati. And since the time in the tower, probably has felt that she has been feeling some way about that night. So
I think after the third or fourth little observational sally that's just met with a Ishalon says, I'm a purple spotted hog.
what?
Oh, you are listening. Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. I couldn't not listen if I wanted to. She touches the thing on her head.
That's right. That first thing. Unlucky that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely been a bit of a burden, but I mean, if I really needed to get rid of it, Araya had offered at some point, but it helps me see, and it's been useful, so it's been kind of, I don't know, worth it to keep wearing, I guess.
I suppose this is not as big a drawback as Kibes, at least.
Yeah. Well, not as obviously bad, but still, I've had a
Don't
long
smell
time.
that bad.
Everything, you don't smell that bad. You smell like your sister.
I don't know how to take that. But I suppose that's good to hear that.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. She, yeah, it's familiar. What were you... Like, I think I already know, but... What were you doing with the machine?
Trying to get her back. So then I can... sounded weirder in my head than I think I meant it to be. I was going to say so that you can smell her, but never mind that.
Well, I think that seeing her would be enough. Casey might want to smell her, but it's just sort of something that'll happen, I think, for me.
Still cannot believe that is a thing that happens. I mean, really?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's not what I would expect for her, but I suppose I don't. I mean, neither of us were particularly prone to crushes or anything of the sorts when I actually knew her.
Yeah, I don't think that I'd want to try to explain what exists there. I don't even think she'd appreciate it very much if I tried. I think that it was fun to... It's fun to tease her about it sometimes in a subtle way because she's private, but anyway. I'm trying to think how to say this, but I'm mad that you tried and made Esmond or worked with Esmond or whatever without doing it maybe the right way. He wasn't in any condition to do any of the operate the machinery or try to make any calculations, and I mean, I'm not gonna try to judge or tell you what to do with risk for what could have happened to you. If you're gonna do something that stupid, be as smart about it as you can, and you guys weren't. And I told you to put him to bed, and you did the opposite of that. And that, I'm not as mad at you as I am at him, but that was shitty.
You are mad at him for making a choice that I pressured him to do?
No, I'm mad at him for not listening to what I said, or yeah.
I will
I'll
admit
tell him.
I did push him. At the time, that may not have been the best for him. But I was afraid that if there was any more delay, the longer something goes, the more chances there are of a thing being discovered. And sometimes people have other ideas, which are not always the better ideas, or not the ones that I want to do. It would have worked, I think, if it weren't for Lottie.
What do you mean?
I don't. I cannot say for certain that this is what happened, but I saw her, and I think she made the choice, or I do not know if she really understood that choice. I mean, do any of us? But she did not want to leave if it meant that I would be going back there, even though I wanted to go back there. And I suppose in this instance, her will overpowered mine. Or maybe something else happened. Maybe it is impossible to bring her back.
Well,
It's weird because I have far fewer memories of her than I should, I think. And yet, I knew it was her instantly, and she felt it was, aside from all the surroundings, it felt right.
it's. And she looks around, making certain that this will only be heard by Michelle. It's like Casey says, we'll get her back. I'm sure we'll have another chance. Somehow. But don't feel bad about, I don't know, the way it turned out. Because if it was a matter of wills. I mean, no offense, I'm sure you're strong, but you didn't stand a chance against her.
Suppose we will see her next time.
She's... yeah. I don't think anybody's more willful than she is. But... hopefully next time you won't have to find out. Maybe there's... I don't know, a way to do something different. It's just the reason I'm so pissed is because the machine's gone, and you only got the one chance. And I don't know for certain, but he could have fucked up, and that maybe there was more than one. If we just used it different, or we'd taken some more time.
Esmond had said that there was a possibility that he could repair it, but it would take years. We do not have that time. I do not have that time. I
Yeah,
doubt
know.
Charlotte does either.
No, I know. We can't fix
And
it, but...
you do not need to. If it had worked out, you would not be mad about it.
No, I would be. I don't...
Do not lie.
No, I'm not. I would give so much to see Shalati again, to bring her back. And I would be over the moon with just having her back with us, but I'm not angry. I would still be mad at him. I would still be mad, and hopefully when I can, I'll figure out the right words, and I'll let him know exactly why. But it sucked to not be listened to, so.
Is that something that you face very often then?
I like to think that under certain circumstance, I think that I've worked really hard so that when it comes to some matters, like understanding physical limits and health, that people would just listen. I don't know what me is like, or with your version of it, but I've been doing this for a really long time. So, yeah, I take it really personal if people aren't gonna respect the one thing I've worked my ass off for.
Everyone deserves, well, deserves a different matter, but everyone has the ability to make their own choices. Whether or not it is the right one, or a good one. That is one thing that's... even if it is for their own health, I do not think you can or should take that away from anyone. Granted, Esmond is a little bit easy to push around, it seems, so perhaps there was a little bit of extra pressure to keep him out of his resting state, but I think if he truly had not wished to, if he had not felt some of that same urgency, I do not think he would have done it.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm sure he'll get a chance. Don't tell me, but anyway, holding on to stuff doesn't and it wouldn't do any good. So I don't know if it needs to be said, but like, you know, we're good. So I'm not gonna be staying mad at you or anything, but just, you know, I do want to know that, like, if I say something, it will have some weight when it comes to keeping people in the functioning the right way. And I don't know, just listen sometimes, because I don't like it. It took a long time to learn how to. It took a while to say stuff when I need to, and now when I do, I want to be heard.
I think Ishalon thinks for a moment and then looks at a nearby tree, sees that it is birch. It has like one of those little curls of bark, and so she moves toward it, rips off that curl of bark, and then rolls it into a cone, and then hands it to Ava and says, "Your voice is very quiet."
She looks at the bark. She looks at you with sort of a sarcastic grin. She takes it in 2 fingers. You see her sort of wave her hand a little bit. Her eyes light up. And then she says, "How about now?" And it's 3 times louder as she's just I think it's prestidigitation, which, emitting a voice
Thaumaturgy?
substantially.
Yeah.
Thaumaturgy, yes, sorry. Yeah, so it just booms out. And you see some birds like kind of fly off from some trees. And then she covers her mouth and is like, I don't know if I was supposed to, I was probably stupid to do on watch.
But you were hurt. And she looks back toward the tiny eye to see if anyone got woken up. Dogs start barking.
Yeah, well, I guess I could learn to project a little bit more, and, you know, we all gotta start from somewhere, so. Anyway, yeah. Before we finish up, because I think our shift's almost up, what was it, if you can share it, what was it like when you saw her? Like, can you tell me about it?
No.
And she sort of nods and goes, in a serious way, says, yeah, that's fair. I don't like talking about going to that place either.
Ishalon looks as if she is about to say something in response to that, and then just closes her mouth again and lets the rest of the time unspool without speaking.
The short period of time, the 2 hours when it actually becomes dark at night, that Peach and Desmond, the 2 of you, are awake while the others are resting.
Esmond spends. He doesn't initiate conversation, but he is awake. He is making notes in his journal, and playing with Zephyrus a little bit.
And I think in that case, Peach, whether she's on watch or just sort of tidying things up, she kind of goes around and does a bed check. She counts the folks. She wants to make sure that everybody's where they should be. She double checks on Salander, triple checks on Salander, quadruple checks on Salander. And then she'll find her way over to Esmond, and seeing that he looks like he's not, for once, deep in some deep existential crisis, like with Zephyrus and all, Peach will clear her throat. Ez? I
Hey, how's Sal for the 10th time you've checked tonight?
still extant. And you tease me and all, but there's also that whole period where I thought I was going crazy because none of you remember he existed. So forgive me for double checking.
Sorry, that was. I
Nah,
was
it's
trying to
fine.
tease. It was not in very good taste.
No, don't worry about it because the truth of it all is I was right all along. And that's what we should take from this.
Be sure to
In
lord
any
that over O.
in any case, how are things with you, Is? How are things with you and Ixalan?
You first ask how things are with Ez, and his eyes darken for a moment as he begins contemplating, and then how are things with you and Ishlan, and his eyes widen a little bit, and he blushes a tinge. Before sputtering, I mean, things are fine. Everything's. She's fine.
I know.
I'm okay. I'm not okay. I'm working through it right now. I don't actually have a good answer for you yet.
Well, I appreciate that honesty, Esmond. Thank you. I won't even tease you about it. That was so goddamn heartwarming. Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I know that I got really weird for a couple days.
Esmond, of course you did. This, you found out that you had been your own self, right? You, Esmond, had been kidnapped from a previous timeline, what, 800 years
Can
ago
we?
as a baby? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is
I'm
it?
sorry. I don't need
No,
to
it's
rehash it
fine.
all.
Is it?
But
If it's
of course, we'd spent time on that. Of course. I'm so glad that Ixalan was there to help guide you through that last little bit, though. Really seemed like she helped you put two and two together in the end.
yeah, she gave me a kind of a side project to kind of help ground me
Oh, a side project.
and well, yeah. Details are still. I need to talk with her some more. I'll explain everything in time. I'm despite it all, I'm kind of I'm trying to hatch an idea that I'm not ready to bring to all of you yet, but I I just need to clarify a few details with her. I think to kind of solidify it all.
Hatched an idea with Ix?
With all of you, I need to discuss some minor details with her before finalizing everything, but it'll be a plan, a start of a plan to discuss with the whole group.
You know she's really good for you, Ash. She keeps you steady. You're calm when she's there with you.
I mean,
And she gets you that focus, right? Because you're so brilliant, but sometimes you're everywhere and you get overwhelmed by your own thoughts. And Ixalan, she's that narrowing beam, right? You're the light, and she's the filter that can make you into that true righteous laser beam of magical science and innovation.
I, I mean, she was helpful just now, but I mean,
You brought
all
Salinger back from the dead, Esmond.
It's that is slightly more complicated. That wasn't just me or Ishtalan. That was
Right, it was something more. It was a combination of the two of you, that alchemy, that chemistry, that unknown, that that comes between when two true soulmates are together.
Oh, um I think you are. I feel as though there's been some miscommunication.
Oh, do you mean Araya? Because I know that you had a crush on her for like a long time, but she's I mean, Ixalan is clearly more interested. I mean, could she be more obvious? And she's gorgeous. Have you seen her hair? Oh, to have that gloss.
What is happening right now? Do I miss the tower? No, I don't miss the tower. No, God, no.
All right, so what? You don't want to gossip about them all, so what do you want to talk about then, Esmond?
Literally anything that just doesn't have to do with me is fine. Honestly,
Okay.
just that's all perfectly above board. That's great.
So do you think Salinger missed me? Because for him, it was like instantaneous, it seemed like, and that maybe there wasn't any time or time passing in that space. Because I missed him, but I'm a little worried that once we finally get the chance to get to talking about it, that maybe it'll be something like it progressed too far in my own mind, and maybe for him, I. He's been sleeping so much and he needs to recover, and he ain't even here right now. And I
I
don't
mean,
know. With you and Ixalan, it's just I just I'm so I just feel like you don't need those words.
I, I, I don't, I.
Right? It's like she can read your mind. Ugh. Have that kind of understanding.
I don't know if I'm the best person to ask relationship advice on. I'll just.
Oh, I'm not asking advice. Oh no, I would never compare what me and Salinger have, whatever that may turn into or be already, to whatever you and Ixalan have. That's not. It's never being a race of comparison. I'm just so happy to see happiness. I love it, man. It's so great to see it blossoming.
Esmond is checking his pulse and is like, did I stop? Are we in another reality? What is? For what it's worth, Sal clearly went through something unheard of. He most likely needs time to recover, a lot of time to recover. Things seem to be coming back to him slowly, but it's going to be on all of us, not just you. I don't think to try and help him reach that point of wholeness with himself again.
I know I'm giving you a lot of grief, and Esmond, thank you. You are this is miraculous. This is all right. What can I do to help you, please? Like, tell me something useful I can do besides, setting up the tent every night. Like, help take something off your plate. I don't think I can help rip holes in space time, but next time I'm keeping an eye while you and Ixalan put heads together and study hard long into the night. I could be working on something in the, outer vestibule while also keeping an eye on your privacy.
Still feel like there's a miscommunication there. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I do have something that I can give you. I'm working on a side thing beneficial to you, to both of us, you and me specifically. But why? And he reaches into his satchel and pulls out another journal and flips through a number of pages before stopping. This is the formula that I copied from another journal that breaks down how to create the arcane ammunition that our rifles use. If I go over this with you, allow you to copy it as well, you could start making your own ammunition going forward. And once I finish studying the new thing that I'm developing, I can also share that one with you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. It would be excellent to be able to do this well. And I could keep you supplied too. You've got that pistol you use sometimes, that rifle.
I might actually be okay ammo wise, but regardless, let's if you think you can sit and study for a couple hours, we can start going over this now.
Oh, I'm great at studying. I mean, well, I always had.
Try
What
again.
was that? I'm great at participating in class.
That's a little better. All right, actually, you know what? Esmond tears out a couple sheets of parchment and passes you some charcoal. All right, let's start with step 1, the chemical breakdown of how the ammo is built.
All right. Peach takes notes. As Esmond gives her information, he would notice that she's using the mnemonic where you kind of make it into songs. So she's sort of doing a tapping on her hand, doing like little finger presses on her arm, and she's learning it quickly. But she's singing under her breath a little bit while she's doing it as well.
Fade to black. School.
Yeah. The next morning, you're still on. As you're finishing waking up, you can see it looks as though Esmond and Peach must have been up working on something. Peach has fallen asleep, kind of with her head on the desk. But Esmond's still awake, and it looks like the others have not woken up yet.
Rolls out of her cot, does some stretches, does a few jumping jacks, yawns, pads over to where as in Peach are, and smiles down at her and says, "Not keeping very good watch, but eh." And then she brushes a little bit of the hair out of her face and gets a little bit more serious and says, "I was thinking. I do not know if you know any of these answers, but you know more than anyone else here. It's about the realities and the different timelines and all of it. If you're in a mental space right now."
I mean, I got in my full 6 hours a couple hours ago, so more or less awake. Yeah, she did better with the studying than I gave her credit for initially, so that's something. Esmond will get up and stretch and find a new place for the two of them to talk, at least not directly within, not like hanging over Peach so that she can continue to sleep.
She takes off her cloak and drapes it over Peach's shoulders before walking off with Esmond and says, "So, during all this walking, I was thinking about... I did not actually tell you what it looked like when I saw Slutty, did I?"
I was going to ask eventually. I wanted to give you a bit of time to kind of digest everything, though.
Well, we were both children again. around the age when, I guess, well, to my memories, both of us died. I suppose she's not the one who died here in this particular place. But I have no idea why that was a thing or why we even stopped and met. And that's, I would be curious, but it's not really what I'm asking about. It's if I, when I was 10, died and went to the Pale and remained there, but I also grew up and somehow ended up here too, which is another thing that there has been no explanation for. Is it possible that the souls from my world also died and went to the Pale as I did, as the me from here did? Is it possible that there are maybe dozens or even hundreds of such events?
Oh man, I usually like a cup of coffee with such a loaded question. I mean, a short answer, yes, it's possible. Given an infinite number of potential realities in existence, there is, in at least half of those, there exists such an event where you or Shalati would be the one to die. I mean, given your circumstance, it stands to reason that we could potentially find another Shalati, but I just, it would be, there's a number of unknowns that I would need to try and organize, such as the Pale for existence. That's not something that we're familiar with. It's not the way that you described it. It's a realm outside of the place between, but also but even also a realm outside of our own reality, but still exists within our reality, but also outside of it. It's shorter answer, yes, but I wouldn't know where to even begin to try and research that subject.
And my second question of probably many, but the only other one that I actually came up with after days is, are all of these realities, these planes, are they all actually whole? Are they all real in the same way as this place feels? And she stamps the ground with her foot by way of emphasis.
Yeah, yes and no. It's, from my understanding, the tears, the portals that we've been coming across are all doorways into potential realities that exist within themselves, but are not necessarily whole in their existence. Not to say that our reality is the quote unquote prime reality, but for the purpose of understanding it, yes, all other realities outside of our own are potentially exist, but until such a time that they are confirmed as such, they are not, they do not exist wholly, if that makes sense.
So is it possible then that all of the memories that I have of being myself, of growing up in the world where I was the one who survived the beast's attack, those are just false? Or ghosts, wisps there's no actual place for me to go back to?
I've thought of that. Actually, I've been thinking on it. The memories that you have, if they function similarly to our own, are yours. They are real. It's not a false memory. It's not something that was placed there by someone else. The memories that you have were formed by a version of you that survived the events of that resulted in Shalati's passing. If you were to return to that reality, I don't believe that you would simply fade out of existence. I don't think you would dematerialize.
During this, sorry, I was just going to say, during this, Ishlana has gotten up out of this sea or wherever they've been sitting, and she's pacing around back and forth while he's speaking.
If you were to return to your reality, it would not be as though you are transposing into a place of mist that suddenly materializes around you. It would be that you are returning to where your memories, the realm that your memories were formed in.
I just realized there's a thing. Tell you what, there's a thing we never discussed. I want to interrupt this just a little bit to kind of talk out of character about it. There's a thing I don't think we explicitly discussed. I had the idea of it, but we never talked about it. And it's a thing because you guys have formulated your characters since then that we can potentially change if you think it doesn't make sense. But the way I had envisioned it is this Ishtalan is the child Ishtalan that was in the pail with Silas, right? But Ishtalan's memories of having grown up without Shalati are she experiences that in the same way that you guys experience when something changes, like when if Salinger's, well, let's not use Salinger's example, when Casey's missing, like because the player's not playing, right? And you have the secondary sort of adjacent memory of him never coming with you. That's the way that Ishtalan experiences her memories of having grown up. Now, I don't think we ever explicitly discussed that. So if that doesn't make sense, we can make that not be a thing.
I think for a lot of the stuff that I've been talking with other folks and fiction, etc., that I've been writing, it feels weirder for that to still be the case.
Okay. So let's make it
at least with her
you
knowledge, her explicit awareness that they're like weird, hazy, alternate memories.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So then, to clarify, Ishtalan, as we know her, is an alternate reality version pulled from a different realm into our own.
Yeah. Does that make sense for you?
I mean, I think it makes sense from Ishtalan's point of view that she has no idea what happened, but to her own experiential memories, she feels like she just has both memories now, and they both feel as real as the other.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep with that then. That'll make more sense.
If we were to try and transpose you back to your reality, to put you back where you come from, and bring Shalati back here, I believe it would be like placing you back into the correct puzzle. You wouldn't fade out of existence. You would continue to exist as a piece of that puzzle that you originally belonged to. Whether or not that you you maintain the memories of everything that has occurred here, or those would fade away. That I don't necessarily know, but that's kind of a rough understanding, my own rough understanding of what I theorize could happen to you.
But it would still be back in this other puzzle that does not have the missing piece of my sister. It's the same world that I had left, essentially.
Yeah. But that, that's not to say that we couldn't find some way to keep you here unless you, wanted to. If you wanted to say, we could maybe find a way to make it happen.
You did say that Fish or Charlotte and I could not both be here on this place.
Yes, that is a current truth of this reality. But never mind. That's...
Well, truth can be subjective. So if that is something that can be changed, I think she actually does crack up a little bit at seeing the look that Esmond bends toward her.
I was telling Peach before we began studying, I have a couple of ideas in the works at the moment. One specifically relating to you and Shalati. That's very much just a working theory right now, but I mean, if I could make it happen, I really would like to do it.
What is the theory?
It probably isn't a good idea. to be clear. So the White Tower to the north, whoever controls it can essentially create their own reality. It sounds like a myth. It sounds like a long shot. But if we're already heading there to try and stop whoever's controlling it from completing their task,
why not use it ourselves?
Maybe.
I mean, we would have to use it ourselves, right? In order to turn the world back to what it was. We couldn't just leave it like it is now.
Yeah, maybe. It's... we don't know what the dangers of doing something like that could be. We don't know what the cost could be. It could take an incredible amount of energy or something worse to make it happen, but it's something that's kind of been toying around in the back of my mind for a few days now, essentially, basically since we left the tower.
Good.
But
okay.
I just want to stress that I don't want you to get your hopes up on it. Not yet, at least. It's a working theory, one that I'm not going to be able to really delve into until we can find our way into the tower or find someone that knows more about the tower, but that's just kind of where that is at the moment.
Well, do you not know? Don't you know where the tower is? You talked with that person on the device thingy, and then you shared some. You talked about stars a lot, and then both of you seemed satisfied after that. I don't know what happened there.
Finding a way to the tower isn't the issue. It seems to be getting into the tower, which I think we're going to try and do from the place between, where we could potentially meet Shalati there as well. But that's going to be a whole thing. I want to discuss that plan with the group once I actually have something a bit more sound. But that's just kind of just to give you a rough idea. That's kind of what it's kind of leaning towards.
All right. And she has stopped pacing when he started explaining his theory, And now she bounces on her toes and claps her hands together, looking a bit more weird and refreshed, like there's a bit more pep in her step as she says, "No, well, that is something. More than just one foot in front of the other. There is a goal." And she thinks about it and nods again, and then turns around, walks back to her cot, looking as if she's gonna pack up, get ready for the day, and then throws over her shoulder. Says, "I think Ava might leave out at you also, by the way. Something about not being hurt."
Yeah, I'll talk with her at some point. Hey, you gotta clarify with Peach that I don't know what you said to her, but you said something, and I feel like that she's
I have
misinterpreting.
said nothing to her.
Okay. Never mind. I guess Okay,
Is she bugging you about it?
She thinks we're an item, but I don't not to say that you're not attract. Not that I'm not interested. Not that I'm not. It's.
I'm very flattered. I can. Well, I suppose if she gets annoying about it, I can burst her bubble. But also, I feel like she has a tendency to get, at least if she is anything like the Peach that I knew, has a tendency to get ideas in her mind, and especially when it comes to gossip and relationship drama, and then we'll just run with it no matter what anyone else says. So maybe I feel like the most surefire way to get her off your back is to instead start hooking up with someone else. So
Can I think I would just prefer if she just took her sights off me and focused on someone else. That let her have her fun. I just don't want to be the target. Is what it boils down to.
who Casey seems to be very still consulate. I mean, Salinger and Peach seem to be a thing. I suppose there's Eva and Aria. Or maybe Eva and Kibeth? Muttering a little bit to herself, she goes back to packing up for the day.
I need coffee.
Peach on the desk in between them snores gently.
Do
Asleep in this scene.
a tiny little flashback where the night before camp is being set up and Ava's writing out the list for people who are going to be on watch together.
A GIF was retroactively perfect.
Ava!
The quiet shitstormer.
Okay. By the time everyone is rested and waking up, the sun is already high. Bane is out in the snow with Gromp's Tallbreaker and the aegis of Brunhilde practicing. There's swipes of the axe through the air and the flurries of snow as his booted feet drag across the ground. Give me a little scene as everyone makes their preparations to break camp and continue the journey to Alenge's Pass. Or has a meeting, one of those. Anything.
Araya's packing up her sack again, but it seems to have a little bit more of a jingle than usual. And just kind of confused. Like, she knew about the toy jingle. What? She finds a rather important gem that really mattered for a lot of things down at the very bottom of her pack. And across her face is the worry of, do I fess up to this, or do I sneak it back into Ez's pack? Because no one said anything about it being missing.
I think after she doesn't have a whole lot to pack and she's kept her stuff pretty tidy. So after she's had her hakim and a little bit to eat, she joins Fane with sparring. No, mostly just dodging, but she has a shield, she has a shield and the scimitar that she doesn't use very often, but she unlimbers them now to basically test herself against them and holds her own pretty decently.
Yeah, that's what you do. Maybe like a little brief scene on that. Yeah, so you standing out in the snow, Bane's coming at you with, we'll say in some way you've blunted the axe. There's like some tree bark that sheathes the end of it. And he comes at you with a series of attacks that are well practiced, but you can tell this is a person who's like trained to fight, but doesn't really have a lot of actual battle experience. If that makes any sense. He's done a lot of sparring and practicing. Someone's clearly taught him how to fight. But there are some, I think, practicalities that are missing. But he's very clearly skillful, and so he comes at you with a series of swings and a swing of the axe.
Ishalon deflects, parries, or dodges the blows for the most part. One of them does break through her guard and hits her a blow across the forearm, which she nods at him for with a grin, and then rolls around. She essentially just plays the regular sparring game for a little while, getting both of them a chance to warm up and to show what they can do before she starts to fight dirty, where she starts to like kick out his ankles. At one point, she maneuvers them around so that she gets the sun, and she like moves them so that when there's a shadow of a tree, and then she moves him out of it so that the sun hits his eyes. She sprays his face with an overhanging branch. That's a little bit too. Actually, she is much. I don't. He might be a little too short for that one, actually. But we'll use water to distract him, or freeze the patch of puddle underneath his foot, that sort of thing, to test him.
Yeah, so we'll say at one point, he's hit the ground, slipped in some ice. Oh, you see, he starts to get up and says, oh, that was a tricky move. He kind of rubs the side of his head, digs around in the snow, and pulls his axe up. And where did you learn to do things like that?
When you fight people for real, generally they're not going to stick to the things that are good for in classes. Mostly because they want to hurt you, and they will do whatever they can to do that. Generally, I advise running away, but it seems like that is less an option these days.
I suppose the only thing I've ever really fought is the dead that are walking. They just run at you with their arms out biting. Not much in the way of sword plays. I haven't had much experience fighting people. Guess I need some practice.
We can keep practicing if you want. Most of the people here are so busy either cooking or studying that most of the time I find myself walking around for nothing to do.
I think that'd be good. We don't know what kind of dangers would be ahead. I'd be grateful to you. I need to be strong enough to protect the maiden.
Yes. The goddess does require protection, it seems.
Okay, try me that move with that dagger again.
Keep your eye on it. Even if you have to keep a perspective and awareness of everything around you without actually having to have your eyes on it. And then she's going to basically go into a theory of eternal vigilance. And then we'll run him through the trip today.
So yeah, it's a fade out as he comes running at you.
Casey catches the look on Rhea's face as she notices the gem. You're gonna have to, if you're gonna be the maiden, you kind of have to look the part, yeah? not look worried or consternated.
So I should say that it was prophesied that the gem appeared in my bag like this?
Gem?
Huh?
Just the face that you were making, it's... I mean, I know...
Oh!
I mean, Thane is... I don't know that he would want his god to be, consternated.
I feel that I waffle between hopeful and worried and hopeful and worried and then failure. She's like, as she's talking to him, like looking at him, just slowly shoving the gem to the bottom of her pouch, just like, Well,
Yeah.
it would be a lie to feign confidence when I do not feel it, though. I just
Well, yeah, then we have to fix that.
I have to. How do you can't fix that. You can't fix honesty. What are you trying to fix?
Well, no, you just have to build your confidence. You have the ability. I mean,
The ability.
I've seen you jump between roofs and in battle.
Mm.
I mean, you pretty much single-handedly took down that giant jelly chicken.
No, but that was more the dynamite.
So, like, I mean, and going down into the well to purify the town, like,
I'm proud of that.
the tales of your deeds, like, if the town
The tale of my
was
tale.
any indication, like, you've walked a walk, now you have to look the look, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, Casey, I think that you're onto something. I feel that. It's through our actions we can bring back older powers. If there was a time before there were any gods, and that gods had to come from something, couldn't it be from strong belief or by doing the deeds that you know represent that god? Wouldn't that strengthen maybe their hold or their presence? They're missing, and I don't know for how long. And so how can we reach them? And maybe it's the power in which that they represented. Maybe if we can represent that thing within ourselves, that we can maybe somehow bring it closer. Does it make sense? It doesn't really make sense. No, maybe I'm thinking too hard about it.
No, I mean, if you act the part, I mean, your godly deeds will follow, you know? You're gonna do great things. You just have to have the confidence and to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're trying our very best, right? And yeah.
I'm doing wonderfully.
Well, maybe you. Yeah. I mean, I think the most wonderful thing that I did was purify some water that no one saw. So it's really not spreading a godly image.
Well,
But then again,
doesn't really matter.
It's not for the acclaim that we do it, but oh man, it's such a. You know, you really put me into a hard spot because part of the maiden is humility and service. But if you have to be noticed for the service that you do, then it really means that are you doing it just to be noticed? And I think that that's a wrong sort of thing to represent.
I mean, well, Salinger already did a lot of the legwork. I mean, he did so real solid with that.
So what you're saying is we should put Salinger's silver tongue to use.
He spun the tale. We just have to fill the roles, yeah?
Yeah, and what god figure did you represent? Or what do you think? Or what would you want to be if you could be?
A god?
Well, no, I mean, no, that's sacrilege. I mean, if you were to represent the essence of one.
I mean, if I was a god, I don't see
I mean,
how
no,
that would be sacrilegious. Like, I would be okay with it, so it wouldn't be offending myself as a
I
god.
don't. I feel like I can only walk into pickles this way.
Is that a tavern?
What? No, it's just a sticky situation.
Oh.
But, well, no, if you could exemplify any virtue, what would it be? If you could pick one.
A virtue?
Yeah.
Mercy.
That's a good one. Oh. And she sort of gets like quiet and sits back on her heels and just kind of sits and thinks about that for a minute. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, just, you know,
You should just keep being merciful. Yeah.
don't, and you stop worrying so much.
That's a part of the solution to the problem is to concern yourself with the problem. Although I don't think that I get quite, I don't know, concerning.
Well, you were really troubled by packing your things up, so
Yes,
yeah,
I
just
was. I'll fix that part. Yeah. Yep. If Casey turns away and finishes, or any of that stuff, later on, she will try to sneakily slip it back into Ez's pack. Super nonchalant. It's the slyest she can be. She will take efforts, but
yeah, as Casey's leaving, he will say, "Well, I mean, don't fix it for me. I just don't want you to sell yourself short."
Roll sleight of tail, Araya.
Hold on. Wait for that.
this is not gonna be like while Casey's standing there. I just
No, he's leaving. He's leaving.
Oh no. You have a really good sense of story, and if I'm trying to live beyond what my sense of self is, if I'm trying to exemplify something that I'm reaching out into the cosmic divine for, yeah, I appreciate your advice.
I mean, my advice is, if you set your mind to something, you can do it. Doesn't matter what it is, how far-fetched or impossible you think it is.
For my mind is set.
Passing by Peach, who hopefully at this point is up, Ishtalon
Yeah.
looks over at Araya and Casey and says, "Huh, seems like Casey and Araya are spending a lot of time together these days," and walks on.
At that moment, Casey says, "By your leave, maiden," and bows to her.
She laughs, stops herself, and just gently inclines her head.
And turns as he's going by Peach. She just smiles and nods.
Miss Vacation is my favorite game.
Peach makes all the facial expressions that her actor did.
Araya. So there's a point as everyone is preparing their gear, getting ready to break camp and leave the Wandering Wanderlust. You see Esmond standing beside his desk. He's sort of organizing his books, going through his notes, and right there's his bag. It's slightly behind him. You
Oh,
might not notice.
okay. In one hand, she has the gem, and in the other hand, she has one of the silly kids' toys.
So tell me what you're trying to do.
If I'm caught, I'm gonna blame the toy.
Well, but what are you physically trying to do?
I'm trying to stuff the gem into, like, safely, gently into his pocket as if it had never not been in his pack. That's a silly notion.
Okay. Are you trying to do this without him noticing that you're there, or are you going to be okay
Oh,
with
I
him
don't
knowing
mind
that-
if he notices that I'm there, but, like, you know how a pickpocket can direct your attention one side? She's inverse pickpocketing, which should theoretically be less difficult, but
Okay,
it's not. I don't know, right?
Yeah. So as you openly approach
Confidence?
Esmond, So as you openly approach Esmond as he's working on his notes, give me a little setup.
So she sees that he's working on notes. She'll lean over and okay, both the toy and the gem are in one hand, so she can point at the books and be like, "Oh, was this some of the calculations that you needed to do? I'm not really great with the math thing, but I do have very, very good handwriting if you needed any of these transposed, like, to organize your thoughts a little bit better." And as she's sort of, like, showing interest directly in the research stuff that he's doing, she's trying to, like, slowly, like, kind of, like, just dip, tuck it.
Roll sleight of hand.
Oh, shoot. Stealth is my good thing. Sleight of hand is not.
Perfect.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Hey.
At 15.
I stand by that. That's
Not too bad.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, Esmond, roll perception.
But here, I'm talking to you. No.
He's got like a plus 15, right?
The funny part about this, he wouldn't have even had to roll if you didn't start talking to him. He would have been so absorbed in his studies, you could have just put it in the bag.
No, you're right.
So that's a plus 12, so 30?
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So Esmond, out of the corner of your eye, you can't help but notice. Yeah, or we'll say Zephyrus kind of pokes you, and you see that Araya's hand is in your bag.
But there's a toy and a gem in the
Well,
hand.
he can't see that. It's in the bag.
Can I help you with
I was just-
something?
I was just. So. She sort of, like, comes back up, hands empty, and just kind of like. Nothing. I was just. No, so I found something of yours in my bag and I wanted to return it, but I didn't want to bother you with it.
Just say something next time.
No! That would be embarrassing, but this is actually worse.
So just say something next time.
Because you're going through enough as it is without things that are important from you disappearing.
It's fine. I'm better than I was a few days ago. It's fine. Especially if it means that you're returning something. What were you returning? What did you take?
So I'm returning and so I happened to find that the gem that's important for the thing in my bag, and I don't really know how it got there, but I have a suspicion how it got there.
Telling tales.
Okay, well,
I know, it's just
thanks. No, thanks for returning it. Just you can tell me next time.
like it's gonna happen a lot, actually, probably.
Okay, just let me know when you notice it, and just return it when you can. Just let me know.
You know, the last time this was a lot easier.
What?
Yeah, no. Okay, thanks. I will. Yeah. She's
Turn to Zephyrus. I don't have to keep an eye on her, do I? No, I don't need to do that. That's just. If you notice that she takes something, she's trying to return it without, saying anything again, just don't let her, because that's a waste of both of our time, honestly.
Zephyrus. Well, it doesn't nod, I suppose. It's the one bird equivalent of a nod would be. I guess flying off to stalk her.
The equivalent of a hummingbird nod, yes.
Okay. Has anyone else not gone yet?
Yeah, I'll go. Mine's real short, though. As she's getting ready, I do a terrible job describing physical stuff, but Ava has always carried with her since they left Shepherd's End a small plush toy sort of hangs off of the pack she wears on her back. It sort of hangs from a loose string. It is a plush of a family cat that they had for a long time called Mr. Parsley. Mines are of home. In addition to that, though, now sort of in its paws as it hangs sort of upside down and swings, there's a thread that also carries the piece of birch that Ishalon had given her to speak louder. Is holds held in her pack.
Anyone else need to go? Okay. Tell you what. I know that Ezra wanted to do a meeting with everyone at some point, but let's not do that now, just because it's already 11. It'll probably be longer soon. Yeah. So after another day of you begin to make out the silhouettes of the hills of Lenge's Pass against the snowy landscape. You can see a couple of strange bright colors standing out against the snow. And it looks as though they're just beginning early preparations and decorations for their winter festival. You can see people running around as you approach from the east. Yeah. You first come to the statues of Imav and Shirley, Salinger's parents. Just as always, Salinger is not here, but it feels different. You know that the memory is just slightly off to the side, that things have changed a bit, and he will return. There's nothing to be concerned about. You can see some dwarven children, halflings running around, and you see one halfling that stands out to you. It's familiar. You see Digsman Somsel. She's running around with her arms out, running through the thing, playing with some of the children. Which is a surprise that you would see her there, because the last time you talked to her, you had sent her to Shepherd's End.
Asmund will be the first one to approach, just kind of yelling at her from distance. Samsel?
She skids to a stop, eyes go wide, and runs over. They said you'd be back!
Yeah, hi. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Oh, so I was in Shepherd's End, and I get joined in Baga there, and some of the people, and I sent the message, and so the people from Muirwood, they should be on their way here. But I was just sitting around, there wasn't really honestly a lot to do, so I left the thingy. I left that with Jordan Bog, and so I came here, and I'm gonna go with you.
How did you get here so quickly?
It wasn't quick.
Okay, my sense of time is completely warped. Someone else talk with her, please.
Good choice.
Yeah, Samson, welcome along. Great to have you.
Yeah, this place is awesome. Why didn't you guys didn't tell me it was so cool?
It was hard to do on an etch and sketch.
You could have tried at least. They're doing a festival right now. It's called Maiden's Blessing Day. And you have to give people gifts, but they're not allowed to know that you're giving them gifts. It's the best thing.
I'm getting war flashbacks.
I think. No, I don't think she knows about this actually. So.
And aside to Esmond, Case says, speaking of, we need to make a spike for Array's tail. I said you could help with it, so we may have to take some measurements.
I mean, I could, but that seems kind of random. But sure, I mean, if that's what she wants, yeah, okay.
And Samsel looks over at Fane. She goes, "Oh, I don't think we've met. I'm Samsel." And Fane's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Fine."
Well, Samsel, I guess get cozy. But not terribly so. We're only going to be here for another day or two before we need to return to Shepherd's End, actually.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, I already made. It took me a couple of weeks, but I made the journey all the way here. So,
did you?
Samsel?
Yeah.
What day is it?
Oh, it's the 15th day of winter.
Yep.
Is that the correct day for us?
No.
How far off is that?
About a little more than 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
You think it was at the tower or something along the way? It's probably the tower.
I think wherever she's from might have a different calendar than us.
What?
It's true. I mean, I suppose we can.
No, I used yours. They told me all about it in Shepherd's End. I went yeah, the calendar where I'm from's different, but it wouldn't make any sense for me to tell you that.
Wait, Shepherd's End told you that? What day did you leave Shepherd's End?
Let's see. That would have been it was the 80th day of autumn, something like that.
Just ask someone else. And Ava yells toward another kid, "Hey, what day is it?"
Hey.
Whoa, wow.
Minotaurs.
Listen,
Man.
yeah, listen.
Minotaur child.
Yeah, it was well, I wasn't expecting that. What day is it?
Maiden's Blessing Day.
What calendar day?
15th. Winter.
Thanks.
Narrows his eyes, grabs his pockets, covers them up, runs back.
I see he's met Araya.
I'm not even close to you to hear that, Diz, but
I do those as much out of character as in character.
Here.
Well, looks like we lost some time.
Hopefully that will not continue to be a thing. So what's here? What next? We go to Shepherd's End? Right, to get to the temple.
Going through the portal, yeah.
And Slump says, well, I'm ready to go. I've been here for a couple days. Oh man, you guys gotta try those sausages.
I am really interested in a festival of the maiden. We didn't have those at the temple.
Yeah,
Esmond is going to walk off to go find the mayor.
Yeah, and we gotta kit folks out. Sal doesn't even have a coat that fits proper yet. That'll take a little while, a special order.
Oh yeah, there's a shop here? It's called Sew for the Winter. They got the best stuff.
Okay. Well, as soon as we shop for Sal and feed Kabeth for a few days, I guess we should head out. Weird ass. Oh. Alright, he's going somewhere. Yeah, we'll be here for a few days, and we'll leave as soon as we can. In the meantime, let's do the festival stuff.
So as you guys, good. Look yours. Yeah. So you guys begin to spread out through the town to attend to your various fairs. You can see that standing on the ladder, you see, Thedra, we'll say, the owner of the shop. You see her helping to pull. We use a rope and a pulley, and they're pulling some decorations and a little marquee that spans across between two buildings. Colorful decorations. There are children running around, tromping through the snow. You see another kid trying to sneak a gift into another kid's pocket at the edge of the alley. And that's where we'll end for tonight.
I think I'm going to be good at this game.
Time
Unless
to play
it's
the
S.
part, Araya.
No. Array, you just saw you're not going to be good at this game.
No, I'm actually terrible at sleight of hand. I'm really good at stealth. I really should have used stealth. I don't know what the fudge I was thinking. I have advantage on stealth. I just... narratively...
It was perfect.
I was like, the Ez is like, it's not a big deal. Stop being weird.
Ez is like, why are you being so weird?
She's like, fundamentally, she doesn't want people to think bad of her.
It's weirder that you're trying to not be weird about it.
I was going to try to give you like some Casey confidence there and make Ez re-roll, but then I saw you got a 30.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
never
yeah.
mind.
I should have done it sneaky. Gosh, I'm dumb. Oh, well. It's better.
Oh,
It's
it
better
was
to be
so
caught
good.
sometimes.
Yeah, it was
15?
definitely.
Okay, so if I rolled a 2 or lower, you would have succeeded.
I should have used a thing to reroll because I've
Yeah,
got
she
it.
made you reroll.
Yeah, no. You know, you win some, you lose some, and I lose some. But it's fine. You have your things. And now we have some toys to sneak in some children's packs.
All right, folks, I gotta call it. Good night.
Feel better
Right,
too.
Kate.
Good night.
I'm going to sneak grenades into people's packs.
Reasonable.
Grenades of fun.
I thought you wanted those, though.
Reverse pickpocket. That's true. If they sell dynamite here, Casey will ask someone for money to buy it.
Yeah. Who's the money? None of us have money. We have things to barter.
It's me. I'm the one that knows what all the money is.
Like, Araya is just like, wait, what? Money?
Peach has a lot of metal that she could probably use to barter.
I have a sword.
She just dumps out hundreds of pounds of dead
250
forged metal.
pounds. Yeah.
Just rotting metal flesh.
What'll this get me?
That we get arrested.
Kicked out of my abode? Leave? Now?
No, we've already established in this town we've leveraged either celebrity or fear, one of the two, enough to have free things at the shops.
Araya would have paid.
I don't
Honestly,
think we did.
I've kind of just been assuming that purely cosmetic stuff is just like no
Oh, that's
particular
true.
things, but I don't know if that's actually true.
It was our winter fits.
It's basically clothes transmogrifying.
Yes. I like that idea. I like that. First of all, it makes sense, and from a game mechanic, it's perfect. But it just also humors me. It reinforces that idea of the entitlement of like, I just assumed this was free. We're like walking around, and the shopkeepers.
We're heroes. No one can stop us.
Exactly.